welcome to At Home today. I hope you're having a great day. I know this is the middle of winter and it can be cold and blustery. You just never know about the weather, what it's going to do from day to day. But one thing for sure, just as sure as we're in the middle of winter, spring will come and summer will come. Come on, hang in there. I know you feel like, oh, the holidays are over and we've got a ways to wait. I know, but just be encouraged because it's gonna get better. Maybe not right away, but eventually. It's kind of like life in general. The things you think, oh, they'll never change, horrible things that are happening in your life or a horrible situation that you're in. You think, will it ever be over? Take courage today. That thing that you're worrying about the most, it's going to change. It's going to change and it's going to get better. It's not always going to be the way it is today. All right? Be encouraged by that. I want to read a couple letters to you. This is from a dear, sweet little lady, and her name is April. And she says, Dear, D-E-R-R, Dear Arlene, I like to watch your show all that I can. I am in 3rd grade now, and I like to watch you cook. I liked your special shows. I thought the cookbook was a good idea. This is from April Clark. And there she's even, look, she's got a little table there, and she's got a beverage with a straw. Looks like she's got a plate there with some foods and a chair. Isn't that neat? I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, April. I appreciate you thinking of us here at home. And here, this letter, she says, Dear Arlene, I'm over 70 and I enjoy every one of your programs. I love the ministry, a Cornerstone Television Ministry. Look forward to seeing you when you're on. You look so good and you've lost so much weight. And she signs her name. Then she said something that probably means more to me than any comment that anybody could say. She says, when you speak, you show how much you love our Lord. I hope that that's true. I hope that you can see that the person in me who is most special and most precious is the Lord. And He can make every situation in your life change like He's changed my life and friends, a lot of people here at Cornerstone Television. And when a lady says that to me, and you know I don't talk in depth very much about God or your relationship, and my desire is that when you see me, hopefully you don't see me, you see Jesus in me, and how that He's Lord of my life, and what you see is Him reflected in me. I hope that's true. Thank you, this dear sweet lady Lydia, for her comment. I pray that that's true. Well, today we're gonna prepare some things that are gonna warm up your innards, as they say. You know, good hearty stews that are gonna put some, my mom used to say it would stick to your ribs, you know? Not stuff that's you're hungry a half hour after you eat it. Something that's gonna stick to your ribs, good and hot, and gonna warm you up if you're cold, and just some crusty bread with them. There'll be 2 different ones that we're going to be preparing today, and I hope you'll stick with us because we'll be back right after this at-home hint. Stay with us. Here's today's at-home hint. Decrease the amount of meat used in a recipe. This not only saves money, but also cuts down on the amount of fat and calories in a recipe.
If you have an at-home hint, a favorite recipe, or just a friendly greeting you'd like to share, we'd like to hear from you. Post it in the comments of this video.
Well, the first of the 2 hearty stews that we're making today is called 2 Rivers Chili. Now, if you folks from other parts of the country don't know it, Pittsburgh is known as the city of 3 rivers. It's called, we have 3 River Stadium. You know, the Point is a big part of our tourist attraction. And why this is called 2 Rivers, I don't know. But anyway, I found this recipe and I thought this is interesting. So let's just make this and see what our folks think. What I've got here is about 2 pounds of ground beef and 2 cups of chopped onions. And what I'm doing, we've already browned it, drained it, got all the grease off of it. And you need a big pot for this because this makes a lot. I'm telling you, it makes a lot. To this now, we're going to add 2 cups of celery, These are hearty stews, a lot of good vegetables and good flavorings in this. And of course, like I always say, you can customize it to however you like it. If you like it hotter, if you like it milder, if you want to add some other things, you can do that. All right, now we're going to add, let's see here. I'm going to add 2 of the 15-ounce tomato sauce. 2 cans. It's going to make a lot now. Of course, you can cut the portions down. You don't have to keep them as large as this. But my mom used to say, if you're going to go to the trouble of making it, make a lot. And she was always of the opinion that when you make things and you make a lot and you let it sit overnight in the refrigerator, somehow she'd say the next day it just tastes so much better, because she thought that the flavors just kind of got together and tasted so much better. And she probably has a point. I think so too. Now, this is potent. We have about, you can do 4 to 6 teaspoons of chili powder. It's going to make it hot. You can customize. If you don't want that much, don't use it. We've got about 1.5 teaspoons of oregano. Got some sugar, a couple tablespoons. This is some salt, garlic powder. And really, you're just combining everything here. It's not any fantastic, hard, difficult procedure, just combining everything. That's what a stew's about. That's why stews are great, because all you have to do is put everything together and let it rip. And as it cooks, it's going to cook for a while. It's going to be great. It smells wonderful. Then we're going to add 2 cans of paste. Now, you can add 12-ounce. I have 2 6-ounce here. So we're just going to add the paste. This is going to cook for about 30 minutes. At the end of the 30 minutes, we're going to add, now this is a change, because we're going to add, well, the kidney beans isn't a change, but what else I'm going to add is about 4 ounces of cooked spaghetti. And what you do with that spaghetti, you break it into 2-inch pieces. That's the size it should be. And I think it's going to be chili with a little twist. It's not so much the plain chili that we all are used to eating, at least this part of the country is used to eating. Now, you Texans down there, you folks know how to do chili, from what I understand. I mean, I'm always hearing about the chili that the Texans, they have these big chili cook-offs and all that. Man, I like to get in on some of that. That and the ribs, that's always been fascinating to me, how you folks kind of have those big barbecues. Someday I'm going to get to Texas and I'm going to try some of that stuff. All right, we have our pot going here now, and I'm going to add 10 cups of water. That's what it says, 10 cups of water, because right now, as you can see, this is real thick. Get the camera in there. See how thick that is? You could never let that cook for about a half hour, because you know what would happen? You got it. That baby would be so thick it would be burning. So we're going to add about 10 cups. This is going to cook down, and it will get thick. Here we are. Okay? Now, stir it up real good. That tomato paste is going to make it thicken. It doesn't make sense. Now, you put something in to make it thicken, and then you put water in to make it thin. But it has to have that process to cook down. And if it does that, it'll be fine. We're going to go ahead and let this cook 30 minutes, and then we're going to add the can of red kidney beans and our cooked pasta. All right? That's the first one. That's called 2 Rivers Chili. Okay? Now the next one that I'm going to do, set this aside here, is kind of the same principle, except it doesn't have any meat in it at all. And I want to tell you, if you're looking for something that's hearty and you're on a low-fat diet, this is what you're going to want to do. A portion of this, 1 serving, has 310 calories and only 3 grams of fat. Now that's very low. Cholesterol is 0 and sodium is only 910 milligrams. So this is something you're going to want to do if you're on a really restricted diet. First of all, this has 2 cups of peeled. These are not cooked. These are just peeled potatoes. We're going to put everything just is combined, really. Then we have 1 cup, get this scraper here, 1 cup of lentils. Now it's important, these are the dry lentil, and it's it's important when you get a bag of lentils and you measure them out that you go through making sure there aren't any little stones. What would be worse than have a mouthful of this wonderful stew and in there would be a piece of stone, maybe break your tooth or something? You wouldn't want that to happen. So you have to sort and clean, and you want to rinse them off really, really well. And then we're just going to add them to our pot. Let me move this pot out here where you can see what we're doing. This is just 1 cup of lentils. Lentils are something, some people say, oh, who wants to eat lentils? Oh, they don't taste very good. It's an acquired taste sometime, and maybe you think you wouldn't like it, but I'm going to ask you, just try it. Just try it and see, okay? Here we have 1/2 cup chopped onion. We have some finely chopped carrots, about another 1/2 cup. Okay. Green pepper. And you can adjust these to accommodate you. If you like more onion, more green pepper, help yourself. Then we're going to have a can of garbanzo beans, or commonly known as chickpeas. Don't drain it, put the whole can in there, juice and all. All right, you following me so far? We've added garbanzo beans, potatoes, lentils, carrots, onion, green bell pepper. Now it's a 28-ounce can of whole tomatoes, but what you do, you get them and you chop them up. They're packed whole in their own puree like, but before you put them in, you want to chop them up because you want them to cook down, and if they're whole, you're going to have a problem with that, okay? So we just add that. Now we're going to season. Mix this around. Need a bigger, better spatula than this. How about a nice big spoon? There we are. Now what we're going to add to this is some chili powder. This is 3 to 6 teaspoons. This is what gives, you know, these stews, soups, this type of thing has to have something, when you don't have meat in it, has to have something to give it some kick or some flavor. And the vegetables will do that, but you need that little extra something to kick it in. Well, that's what this chili powder will do. And we have here some teaspoon of garlic salt. Okay? Now, we're going to put this on our stove, back over here, and we're going to turn the fire on, as they say. And this is going to cook down. You're going to see this will cook down. The potatoes will cook. This has to boil. I'd probably let this go about a good hour, so that what happens, your vegetables all get very tender, and the tomatoes will diminish and add more juice and more moisture into it. And we're going to cover it so that it comes up to a boil faster and begins to cook. If it gets a little dry, let's add some water to it, okay? We'll be right back with more of At Home in just a minute. Let's pause for this break.
Do you love watching At Home with Arlene Williams? Then be sure to check out our new YouTube channel. It's filled with classic episodes from over 20 years of At Home, and more videos are added each day. And don't forget to click the subscribe button so you'll never miss another episode of At Home.
Okay, we're stirring our chili, taking another check on it. This one's bubbling and going along beautifully. Now remember, this cooks for about 30 minutes, and then we're going to add the can of red kidneys and also some cooked pasta, just spaghetti noodles, about 4 ounces, that's all, just to give it a little something different. You know, my mom, when she'd make chili, I hate to tell you what we used to eat it on. She used to make mashed potatoes, and we would dip chili on top of the mashed potatoes. Do we wonder why we have a weight problem or what? We know, but it tasted so good. But those were hearty things. When I was a kid growing up, the staples were what you lived on, because who could afford a lot of meats and a lot of the fancy things that we've grown accustomed to over the last few years. But that was something that was delicious. Okay, now we're going to make, with our chilies, and I always liked a salad, chili, and either some biscuits or bread or crusty bread, some crackers, whatever. And I thought this was a unique and unusual. These are called crunchy topped biscuits. And all it takes is a can of these refrigerated biscuits. And I hate these packages. I already told Dale, the floor director, I said, now look, if I can't get this open, I'm going to hand them in to you, and I'm going to ask for you to help me. And he said, okay, so I'm handing them to him, and see, this guy's so good, he just whacks them. I hate when they pop, you know? I just hate that. Anyway, these are just a refrigerator. Thank you, Dale. You did a good job. Never fails me, except that one time. No, we have buttered a pie pan, and we're going to divide this into 10 biscuits, and we'll put the biscuits. They're laughing at me. What I go through with this crew, I'll tell you, but they're a great bunch of guys and girls. They work, they go beyond. Sometimes they don't go beyond, no, but they do, and they're just nice people. And if you were able to meet them, you'd say the same thing. You'd say, boy, this is a nice group of guys and girls. Okay, we're gonna force them into the baking dish. Put one there. I think we have some more down here. And what I'm going to do is just kind of push them up a little bit, because we want to use them all. And make sure that you have well greased your pie pan. And you don't want to use a deep dish one. You want to use just the regular one, because it's important that they all fit. I'll get them here in a minute. There we are. I think we got them. Just about there. Okay. Now, what we're going to do with this, and I think this is a nice touch, we have some melted butter. And what I'm going to do, just put some melted butter over top of each of the biscuits. Could do this with a brush or just a little spoon like this is fine. And butter, you know, always makes it taste good. You know, it's not exactly low fat. And I know you've probably been thinking, I got to get back on a diet from all those holiday goodies, and you've been putting it off, procrastinating, putting it off day after day. Here we are into February, and what's happening? Well, maybe this is the day we start thinking about it, okay? Now we have corn chips, okay, and we've just crushed them. And all I want you to do is sprinkle some corn chips on these biscuits, just like that. And you want to pat them in to be sure that they're going to stay there when they get baked. And these are called crunchy topped biscuits. I like that corn flavor with our biscuits. I think that that's going to add a crispness to them. Sometimes the biscuits don't get real crisp. Sometimes they get too crisp if you leave them in too long, right? But these have an extra added little taste to them with the corn chips. I think that you'll be enjoying that. This is nice to go with the stews or chilies or whatever, bowls of chili, whatever. Let's just do that. And this is going to go into a 450 degree. It's a pretty hot, fast oven. Make sure it's preheated or these will not bake properly. And they're only going to bake for about 8 to 11 minutes. So we're going to put them in our oven. Set the timer. When it says 8 to 11, you think, well, what am I supposed to do, 8 or 11? You know what I do? I kind of go in between. I'll say, oh, let's do about 9 or 10. That way, if your oven is fast and they cook faster, you're going to be okay. If it's slow, you can always add an extra minute or so to it. All right? Checking this chili out. You have to keep stirring because you don't want it to stick. The smell is incredible here. And I think you're going to enjoy this one. Let me check over here. Boy, this one's cooking now. Smells wonderful. This has such a nice variety. It's a hearty stew. Just a hearty stew with just loaded with good vegetables. And remember, this one's low fat. You want to remember that. Okay, with this now would be a wonderful, in addition to either one of these chilies or stews, let's prepare a nice salad. And here we have some greens. We have cucumbers, some radishes, some mushrooms, put some purple onion or some big sweet Bermuda onion, and some tomatoes. If you're going to do any kind of, like these small tomatoes, I kind of like to cut them in half because I like to release the flavor of the tomato into the salad so that it will flavor the dressing that you put on. Now, I don't know if you like this kind of a dressing or not, everybody's kind of stuck on the ranch dressing now. That's every place you go, it's ranch, ranch, ranch. My mom made one that we always had at home, And she used to make it when she didn't have tomatoes and things. She'd make it, but you could put it on any kind of a salad. And basically all it is some mayonnaise that we're going to put into a bowl, and just a couple of spoonfuls of mayonnaise. Let's see, we'll make it kind of creamy. And to that we're going to add some red wine vinegar. You say, Arlene, doesn't look like red wine vinegar bottle. No, you know, one of the nicest ladies in the world, Mrs. Provenzano, who is Loretta Scott's mom, crocheted this darling little dress for me to put on. Really, she said you could put it on your detergent, you know, your detergent, when you dishwashing detergent, but I liked it so well, I put it on my red wine vinegar bottle, and I just think it's cute. I don't have the directions, so please don't write and ask me, oh, could you get me the directions? I don't have it. I can't help you with it. But we're going to add some red wine vinegar, and really you do this to taste. If you like it a little bit more, do a little bit more. Okay? We're going to add some salt, little salt. We'll add some pepper to it, some fresh ground pepper, which is already there. There we go. And after we mix this up, we'll add a little bit of milk to it, and that's going to go over our salad, and you're going to see it's delicious. Before we cut to tell you how you can get today's recipes, I'm going to go ahead and add, remember the red kidney beans? We're going to put them in now, and we're also going to add our spaghetti. And this will only have to cook about another few minutes, and we'll be right back in just a minute.
Just go to ctvn.org/athome to get all the recipes from today's show for free. That's right, no subscriptions. They're available online at no cost, and more are being added each day. So join us at ctvn.org/athome to get today's recipes now.
Well, we're going to pour our dressing over our salad now. This is just Mom's kind of creamy, I guess you call it a mayonnaise sweet and sour dressing. I don't know what you'd call it, but she used to make it and we loved it. It's really good, especially if you've got cucumbers in your salad. It's good with cucumbers. All right, now, here, this is the Two Rivers chili. Ah, doesn't it smell good? Looks good, and I know it's going to taste good. Here's the other, easy lentil and bean stew. Thick and hearty. Sure, try to say it. Thick and hearty, and if you like that real full-flavored, full-body, really stick-to-your-ribs type of stew, this is the one you want. These are crunchy-topped biscuits. Look how nice that is, nicely browned, and I'm going to break them apart here to show you how light they are. Isn't that great? That, along with your chili or your stew, what more could you want? Fit for a good cold evening when you need something to warm your insides. You've got it. And be sure to join us the next time, because it just wouldn't be the same without you here at home. See you next time.
Don't forget to click the subscribe button so you'll never miss another episode of At Home. Thank you for watching.
Fresh produce provided by Jordan Banana, wholesalers of fresh fruit and vegetables in Dravosburg, PA. Cookware provided by Woolies. Your favorite gourmet deserves the best for less from Woolly Balcony Cookware. Groceries provided by Foodland, where the answer is always yes. Cornerstone Television wishes to thank all our faithful viewers whose consistent prayers and financial support have made this program possible.